Welcome back to Chit Chats, everybody. My name is Antonio.
My name is Dean.
My name is Michael Larsen, and let's have a chit chat.
All right, there we go. That's the intro. Yeah, great job, Michael. You nailed that.
Thank you.
Sponsored by Dr. Pepper Zero Sugar.
Shut the fuck up, Dean. No, I wish we could get a sponsor. Well, I don't want to get sponsored by Diet Soda. No.
That's what you think.
No. That's what I know. I don't want to.
Okay.
And if they reached out to me, if Dr. Pepper reached out to me, but specifically wanted to sponsor me with zero sugar Dr. Pepper, I would say no.
What if they offered you $1 million?
I would say no. I have too much integrity for that.
What would you say?
Too much integrity. Nope. You heard it here first, folks. Anyway, so welcome back to Chit Chats. We got a nice little special episode because we got a brand new guest. Well, first we have Dean, and he's not a special guest. I'm just a guy. He's just a guy doing things. Yeah. But we have Michael Larsen on the podcast, on the Chit Chats today for the first time. Michael, we've known each other for quite a while. Your camera just turned off for some reason. Okay, now we're good. Yeah, and okay, it's off again.
Let's go. Let's go.
We're not seeing Michael today. He's gone.
All right.
Oh, now he's back. And now he's gone. Now he's just gone completely.
All right, so we're down to two people.
Are we good now? Hello? We're off to a great start here, folks.
Technical issues.
Yeah.
Testing.
As soon as I turn the cameras on, or turn the recording on.
Okay, wait.
All right.
Technical issues.
Okay, I'm back.
Okay.
Probably you're gonna have to play like a
yeah. I'm gonna have to cut. I'm gonna have to edit that in.
Technical issues. Blank screen.
Yeah.
Something along those lines.
Anyway, Michael, it's good to have you on. I've been meaning to have you on for a while, so I'm glad that we got to have this opportunity.
It seemed like it never lined up, and we're finally here.
I know, yeah. The stars finally aligned, and now we're here. And we got a nice little topic to cover today. So a while back, just a little bit of a backstory. A while back, the three of us. What's up? Uh-oh.
Oh no!
It's a curse. This is a curse, dude. Michael's curse.
Insert second segment here.
We were talking for like 10 minutes before we started recording, and this was not happening. And as soon as we start the recording, this happens. Of course.
I guess that's just as nature wills it, huh?
Yeah, it's.
Hello. My Wi-Fi's good, like that.
And now he's back.
Yeah.
I get it.
We're gonna.
My Wi-Fi's good.
All right.
Michael Larsen, what's happening?
What's happening,
Getting attacked by the entities.
Yeah.
The FBI found out this. They found this meeting was happening. They're doxing Michael Larsen.
Yeah. Okay. Anyway, so a while back, the three of us were at a party, and Michael, you and Dean, you guys were chatting up a storm about ghost stories. And I mean, I don't know if that was the entire conversation, but I kind of like listened in to the conversation when you guys were talking about that, and I was interested, and I thought it was a very interesting conversation, and I thought we could kind of bring that back for this episode of Chit Chats, because I don't really know how I feel about ghosts as like a topic, so I don't know. Maybe this talk will kind of cement my opinion on them. But Michael, like I think we got to start with you because I think you by far have like the most like interesting or like thought-provoking stories to tell here, and I have some stories too, and Dean might too. But I want you to start. So go ahead.
Absolutely. So I brought stories. I'll just start with this one. I will say they're not specifically about like ghosts in general. I kind of like look at everything in general from like Bigfoot to anything sort of supernatural.
So, like super. Okay, yeah, that's fine. Yeah, that's totally fine.
It falls in the category. Okay.
Mm-hmm.
Well, let's start with Bigfoot. Oregon's the home of Bigfoot, if I'm not mistaken.
Is Oregon the home of Bigfoot?
I'm pretty sure. Like
one of the homes.
If you just go down, just like drive anywhere in Oregon, you're bound to see like some Bigfoot carving just out there.
Okay, I see. I'll have to look out
so
for
the
that.
first one I brought was the Bigfoot story. This one is definitely like it kind of shaped my life a little differently, because it's from someone I know. My dad, as many people know, is Michael Larsen. He's subbed for a
Also
lot
Michael
of people.
Larsen.
Yep, same exact name. He had an experience when he was, I believe, I want to say 16 or 17 years old. And he was at a church camp between Subtle Lake and Blue Lake in Oregon. This is in the summer of 74.
Okay.
And he was with a buddy. His buddy's name was Kendall. They were out at the church camp. It was getting pretty late. I think it was about night, and it was nighttime. They had been given, I think, peanut butter and jelly sandwiches for dinner. So they were very obviously you need water or something with that. And of course, for some reason, the camp did not give them any milk or anything. So them being bored, they're like, all right, we're going to sneak out and we're going to go to this market that's a little bit away, but they're bored. So they decided to.
No water, no sustenance of any kind.
It was evil. And so they said, all right, we're going to sneak out. So Kendall grabs the flashlight. My dad just take off. They decided to take the scenic route. So they actually are going through a pretty heavy wooded area. And going through, no problems. A little bit into their trek, they start to notice, sounds like massive footfalls. The best way to describe it is if an elephant was in the forest, just really heavy footfalls. Yeah, just a lot of weight. And they could hear a little bit of trees, branches breaking and stuff. And so they're just trying to figure it out as they're walking. They're like, what could that be? Is that a bear? What is it?
Mm-hmm.
Trying to figure it out. They finally decide to stop. And as soon as they stop, the footfalls stop a little bit after they stop. And so now they're all right, trying to really figure out what this is. They're trying to take in the surroundings in front of them. Pretty far in front of them, they can see some deer or elk or something that were by the water that had frozen and were staring directly at the sound of the footsteps. And so they're like, okay, that's weird. And my dad, if any of you guys know, very guy, not afraid of a whole lot, but he was shaking in his boots.
He's a tough man.
Yeah, he was shaking in his boots.
I would be too.
Kendall, this is insane. Kendall was really kind of wanting to figure out what it was more so, and my dad refused to look at the direction in which the sounds had come from.
I feel like that's something you should not do in horror movies. Go towards the thing that's making the sound.
We should go check that out.
Do that.
Yeah, right. And so they're trying to figure it out, and my dad won't look. Kendall's looking. Kendall says he sees red eyes peering at him through the branches or whatever. And so Kendall goes, all right, Mike, well, I'm going to shine the light on it. And my dad's like, he just can't even think. He can't even think right now.
Mm-hmm.
He's so afraid. And Kendall decides to shine the light. As soon as Kendall shines the light in the direction, it's whatever it is, it's a shriek. Very loud shriek. And the best way to describe it, my dad said, is it's like an electronic elephant noise, like the noise an elephant makes, but almost synthesized.
Robotic or...
Robot?
Yeah,
robotic.
I'm picturing that in my head. Yeah, okay. Yeah. That's oof. That is.
Yeah, so it makes that noise, and then it seems to shift its weight and head up the hill, knocking down. It sounds like it's running now. The footfalls are falling one after another, and it's kind of shrieking all the way up the hill, and it's knocking down trees. You can hear branches breaking, footfalls and stuff. And so after that, they hauled Booty back to the camp and gave up on the milk, gave up on any idea of that.
Yeah.
And next day decided to go visit where they were. And he said that the ground wasn't like a dirt, it was more like a solid, like pebble-ish type dirt. So you couldn't really leave a really detailed footprint.
Mm-hmm.
What they did find was huge indentations in the ground.
Mm-hmm.
And my dad was jumping as hard as he could to try to implant on the ground to try to see if he could leave it a mark that whatever this was left. Couldn't even make the dirt compact at all.
Wow.
Yeah. And so, a bunch of broken trees and stuff. And so, as a kid and growing up, he told me that. And for the longest time, I've always looked into paranormal. I've always looked into that stuff, but I always had the hardest time with Bigfoot.
Mm-hmm.
It's you think we would see something or find a carcass or something. There's so many hunters out there.
Yeah.
But after he told me this, I'm he never wrote a book. never, made a TV show. He didn't. There's no point in him lying, or there's no money to gain off this.
Mm-hmm.
And it's when it really hits home when something like that weird happens to someone
Yes. Like a family
like,
member.
wow.
like
Right.
Yeah, no,
Yeah, it's like, jeez.
For sure. Yeah, no, I think that would definitely, because like I've heard of like, weird stuff happening to people, but I think like hearing it from a family member, like that's like a more level of like sort of like personal, like in like relationship that you have. Correlate. Yeah. Like, yeah, that's creepy. That's creepy as hell, man. Like,
has he ever gone back to the area?
Yeah.
I believe so now.
That's good. He's got to make the pilgrimage soon to just go back to that same spot. But
yeah, Bigfoot is a weird concept for me. Like I never really knew what to think about it. I don't really follow like a whole lot of like Bigfoot conspiracists. I haven't heard like a whole lot about it, but like that's a pretty like convincing.
It's hard with Bigfoot too. Like that's why I had such a hard time, because it's mostly hearsay,
Yeah, definitely.
It's mostly like I saw this, and that's why it's like for me, it's like, okay, I'll take your experience with a grain of salt, because I don't really know you.
Right. But your own father, like, he's not gonna tell you something. He's not gonna give you like misinformation. You know what I mean? Like. All right.
I'm gonna screen cap this. This is funny.
At least this didn't happen while he was telling the story.
That's true.
Yeah. All right. We're back. All right. We are so back. Okay. So back. Yeah. That's wild, man. Like, and so like, have you ever personally had like any sort of Bigfoot specific experience, or like, you're camping, you hear like a weird noise, you don't really know what it is? Have you ever had something like that?
It's for me.
Yeah, for you. Yeah.
Okay. Had one thing, one experience, and it could be explained away. This one was we were camping over by Cottage Grove. It was me, Hayden Palmer, his brother, some family, and it was pretty late. It was about I think 1 a.m. All of us had went to the bathroom, and it was like a big old walk. And then we all came back. At least half of us had come back already. Some of the other ones were still at the bathroom or whatever, showering. I think it was closer to 2 a.m. actually. And so we were just chilling in the tent, the campground, quiet as can be. And we're just kind of like laughing, talking it up. And we hear a shriek. It sounded like, oh gosh, I mean, it's really hard to describe. It was like,
can you make the noise? No, I'm just kidding.
I could replicate it.
It was insane.
I feel like shrieks are like, you said that's what happened with your dad too. Like he heard like a really loud shriek. Yeah. That's like terrifying to me. Like the idea of that, like that would leave an impression. It sounded
like I don't even know. It was just a piercing shriek.
Yeah, like a very high pitch. It
sounded almost like a female shriek, but like more intense and more loud, like something you couldn't do with your vocal cords.
Okay.
And it like, but talk about a buzzkill. Like he immediately stopped laughing. Like I got my, I think I had my
living,
Bible.
Laughing, loving, crying. Just immediately.
I had, like, my Bible on me or something, or I started praying or something, because I'm like, we were freaked out. Like we called the boys
out of this house.
We're not back. Yeah. That were not back from the bathroom, and we're like, y'all need to make it back.
Yeah.
I don't know what is out there. And we thought, we've debated it. I looked up that same night. I looked up like bobcat and cougar shrieks, because people say a lot of the time they sound like females.
Yeah,
and it wasn't anything like that. Hayden did say, this is about a year or so later, a couple years later, he did say that his parents said that there was a drunk woman nearby. So I mean, maybe
a possibility.
You would think that like there was a drunk woman nearby, and we could hear her shriek. We'd be able to hear her. Like they said that she was being like really loud, so you think we'd be able to hear like her whole thing, right? Like her talking and laughing and yelling and stuff. Not just the shriek, and then we heard nothing from her. You know what I'm saying?
That's weird. Unless she like passed out or something. But like, even then, like no,
if she's within proximity. Like you think we could hear her.
Definitely,
But yeah, it was just so funny too. Like looking in hindsight, like how everybody was just mute.
Yeah.
After that, it was like, no more fun. We're going to bed. Everybody back in the tent. We're done.
Yeah, it's over. It's over.
I feel like it's funny because I feel like the forest at night, that's like one of the creepiest like atmospheres to be in for that kind of thing. You know what I mean? I guess like, you know, because like one of the stories that I have is actually like relating to that too. But yeah, no. And where did you say this was?
This was we were camping in Cottage Grove, but probably by the woods, kind of by like Dorena Lake, that area.
Okay, I see. Okay, yeah. So I've always been kind of like a skeptic with like ghosts or paranormal stuff. It's not that I don't believe. The one thing that I do really believe in, which maybe we could talk about, is like aliens. Like that's definitely something.
I'm a big alien head.
Yeah.
Same.
But this specific experience that I had was also taking place during a camping trip. We were camping over, I don't know exactly where, but it was over by the coast. It was like kind of over by Florence. And I was with like Donovan, Cody, a couple other people. And I don't think you were there, Dean. I think this was like freshman year. But
I might not have been.
Actually, maybe we weren't by the coast that time. But anyway, so that time, like we were all in the tent. It was probably like 2 a.m., 3 a.m. And we were like just up talking, like laughing and whatever. And all of a sudden, just like out of nowhere, we hear like a really loud rustling, like outside somewhere. And at first we were like, oh, it's like someone like, well, here's the thing is like where we were camping, it wasn't like a typical campsite where there's like other spots. Like it was just like one spot, like specifically where we were. And so like the only people that it could have been besides us were like, it was like Donovan's mom or like his like sister or something, but they were definitely asleep. Like we knew for sure that they were asleep by then. So we were kind of like, what the hell is that? And then like I think like at the time we were just like we didn't even like, we were like, we're not going to go look for it. We're just going to go to sleep. Like I think it's time to go to bed. So like, but that always like stuck out to me because like, I don't know. We don't know to this day what it was. And we didn't hear like a loud shriek or anything, but it's still like, we were like, what is like around us? Like we were like, is it like a bear? Is it like, you know, some other like wild animal? But it was loud. And so like, that was enough to creep us out. But
I mean, dude, even the most basic of like wild animals, like just deer or elk, they make terrifying sounds as well.
True.
Yeah.
They just scare the shit out of you.
Mm-hmm. And I wouldn't say I'm like afraid of like the dark, but the dark definitely, it adds like a very like just an eerie feeling to any scenario. Yeah. You know what I mean?
Especially in like a place you're not comfortable with, right?
Yes, a place you're not used to.
My house, that's for sure. Like my house, like I sleep in like pitch black because I'm just so comfortable with, you know, like my environment and stuff.
Definitely.
Like, going anywhere else, like just at the Airbnb I was just at, like it was really eerie.
Yeah.
Really eerie house. It was dark, very dark, and I had to keep checking the shadows.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
I think isn't Colorado like the prime cryptid area for like stories as well?
Yeah. It's also very, very prime, for especially Bigfoot too, which is fun. We visited a Sasquatch outpost.
No way.
Funny. Yeah, it's listen to a guy on YouTube who things on missing people. His name is David Pilatus. I think his YouTube's like Can-Am Missing Project. But he had an interview one day with a guy that from Colorado that owns this shop. And it was really cool. Like, so I wanted to, after seeing that video, I was like, well, if I'm going to be in Colorado, I got to visit. And so we visited, and they had like all sorts of facts about like Bigfoot and like people's different sightings. And they had some really interesting stories and some really interesting evidence too. Definitely a blast.
That's cool.
It was literally in the middle of like the woods. Like it was just rolling green hills just forever and ever and ever. And there was just like this little tiny, it was barely a town. I mean, it was like 3 places. But,
I wonder why
That's
they
cool.
settled all the way out there then.
I don't know. Yeah, I mean the owner likes. He wasn't there. His wife was there, but he likes to try to do expeditions and stuff to find Bigfoot. Like, man's kind of like out there, but
So it's like it's a Bigfoot hunting town.
Mm-hmm.
pretty much, yeah.
Yeah.
And it was so. The one thing she did tell us this story, and it was like a really brief thing. It was like some guy had been camping like out there, and he had come running into their shop and was pissed. And he was accusing them of sending someone out into the woods with a suit on, like a gorilla suit or like a Bigfoot suit. And they were like, "What?" Like, it's just him and his wife, like in the middle of nowhere. Like, they don't have the time or money for that.
Yeah.
And so they had to counsel this dude for a couple hours and like calm him down and let him know he's fine.
You guys are trying to scam me.
Pretty much, yeah. That's
Yeah.
what he's accusing him. And when he explained it, he said that he was just camping at his little campsite, kind of pretty remote. And he, like, I don't know if he got up or something happened. He got up and he there was a literal like ape figure that was just standing there staring at him pretty close to his campsite. And he was shocked. I mean, he literally like tried to like look like, I mean, he did everything to like try to make sure he wasn't dreaming and stuff. And it scared him so, it literally just like stared at him. And so it scared him so bad that he, packed up, got his stuff and then drove in, and he was so mad at them. He's like, this is, ridiculous. Like, I don't believe in that. Stop,
Yeah. Damn.
And so it was, really interesting. That one kind of got me. I was like, ooh.
It's like, that's an interesting story. That's a good story.
Yeah.
I think if I ever saw like an ape figure in the forest, or like a Bigfoot, a Sasquatch, a Yeti, or whatever kind of anthropomorphic ape-like creature in the forest, I'd probably just pass away. I'd probably just stop living.
I would probably shit my pants, honestly.
I don't think I'd make it.
Yeah.
Yeah. I don't know, man. Like like I do feel like I want to have more experiences like this, like in a way, just because I feel like it does like further cement like how I would feel about it, because like I don't know, but it is interesting like hearing other people's stories, like because like I don't know, I feel like
go ahead.
Oh, I was just gonna say, I don't know, it's just like I don't know, it's funny, that guy too, you were like, he was like, oh, I don't believe in that stuff, but also like he was like super like, he was like, I feel like he must have a little bit like to get that big of a reaction, it sounds like.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
And I mean, they said he was just freaked out. I mean,
yeah.
Like, I mean, they come in there accusing them.
Mm-hmm.
Like, you've got to be scared to your bones. Yeah, it's just fascinating.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, Antonio, we kind of had like it wasn't necessarily Bigfoot related, but we remember that time we went fishing just like in the dead of night.
Oh yeah.
And then we had kind of those like weird series of events just like unravel after each other.
You might have to remind me what you mean, but I remember that night. I know what you're talking about, and I remember that night being very eerie. But
okay, so basically we all planned. I can't remember exactly who was there, but I think it was Quentin, Antonio, Ellis, Aiden, and I.
Yeah.
We all went for like a late night fishing trip.
It was a very like impromptu thing, at least for me. But yeah.
It was super fun, core memory for me. But Quentin suggested that we go, since he has a little bit more fishing experience, he suggested we go at night so we don't like startle fish, and then we can actually get out there and catch something. We never did.
We did not catch a single thing.
We didn't catch a damn thing, but we went out there and like late night, we left by the time we left, it was already like dark. It was already dark out. And I remember we got there, we sit down, we start fishing for a while, it's kind of eerily quiet. We crossed a bridge, and I think I remember the sign saying like it was some ominous foreboding message across like a little sign that says like do not cross, but it wasn't like direct, it was like bad things across the bridge.
Yeah.
Don't go over here.
Yeah.
And like, but this is like a known pathway. This is a little weird. Anyways, we just continued on, like parked very close, so we could like leave easily if we wanted to. We started fishing for a while, and then I think it was just in the middle of the woods, so we started hearing like rustling, and then it started getting like increasingly louder. And at a certain point, we all just stopped talking, and I think after like maybe 10 minutes of us just like not doing much, we're like, oh my god, is there like a bear over there?
Yeah.
Is there like a skunk over there? We kind of followed the direction of, I don't know why we did, but we kind of followed the direction of where the rustling was coming from, and kind of went around this whole area. And then we came to this weird thing. It was like some old decrepit pagoda in the middle of the woods with a singular TV that was on and had no signal, and the cords just went to
Yeah.
nowhere.
That was super
It was
weird.
so
Yeah.
ominous and eerie.
I think Dean
But-
has a picture on his Instagram of that.
I do.
Or-
I think my profile picture is actually of just me in front of it, I think.
Yeah.
Insane.
Yeah. No. It was really weird. It was like a wild experience, but I don't know. I like again, it's just like in the dark, anything is just like 10 times more creepy.
Yeah. And I remember
Yeah.
like
Yeah.
as we were leaving, as soon as we kind of left the bridge area, we were just being like, I was on edge at that point, because then we were just being followed by like one car super close to us the entire way back.
Yeah.
That just scared the shit out of me. Like, it was just a bunch of tiny things, but it scared the shit out of me.
Yeah. That is
So,
that is a core memory. Yeah. But
you know.
But okay, I wanna see. I mean, like, okay, we talked about like kind of like supernatural, like, you know, stuff in like the forest. I wanna talk a little bit about aliens, or like experience. Do you guys have like stories regarding like your experience with aliens?
Yeah, I got alien.
Or if Michael, if you have, like, I know you prepared stories. If you just want to like bring up another one, that's like, it doesn't have to be about aliens.
Yeah.
I was just curious, you know,
Sort of thing. Yeah.
because I do have one. I do have one relating to aliens.
Yeah, you start us off.
Okay, well, it's not like super crazy, but this is also kind of like relating to, because you know, you brought up like, oh, like you heard a story about from your dad, and that like meant more to you because it was from like family member. One time I was like at home with my aunt in our backyard, and it was like late at night, again at night, and we were like just staring up, because I don't know, the I think it was like there was like a full moon out or something. And we were just like out staring at the stars, like, oh, the sky is really pretty. We saw like a star like that was like extra bright, and we both like looked at it and like pointed it out. And I swear to God, the star like shot across the sky, like just in like a random direction. And both me and my aunt like looked at each other, and we're like, you saw that, right? And we were both like, yeah. And we were just, and we tried to like look back at where it was, and we could not see it again. And that always like stuck out to me, like that was like that could have been like a UFO or something, you know.
Absolutely.
And that's like one of the like experiences I've had, and it wasn't even like, you know, anything like we didn't like hear like a weird noise or anything. Like, I don't know if we would, but we heard, like, just seeing that, like, I was always like, yeah, there's definitely got to be like extraterrestrial life out there. You know what I mean? Like, space is too big and vast for there not to be anything, you know, in my that's my viewpoint. But yeah, it's cool.
I mean, the government has even like gone as far as to like declassify UFOs. It doesn't mean they're aliens, but it just means we don't know what it is out there,
Right,
which makes it all the more interesting. So, you know.
Well, and I guess like alien is kind of like an umbrella term, right? Like alien could mean like a lot of different things. Like there's always that like stereotypical you know, depiction of aliens that like they use in media, but I don't necessarily know if like that's
the Greys
out there. You know what I mean? Yeah, Greys or green monsters or whatever. Like maybe that's out there, but like
I mean, there's one that looks like Michael Larsen.
there's got to be one that looks like Michael Larsen. Yeah, exactly. I'd like to believe there's an entire race of species out there that just looks like Michael Larsen.
If you type into like an OpenAI source like Midjourney, and you just ask what is the best depiction of an alien, you just get like 3 rendered images of Michael Larsen in HD.
Sure.
That's fast. Yeah, that's true. Yeah.
just staring bug-eyed at the camera at you.
Yeah.
That's what you get.
Dean, do you have
Deen, did you have a?
like an alien related story?
Well, I mean, I don't necessarily have an alien-related stories, but I'm very into the idea of like everyone, or at least most people, know about Goldilocks planets, right?
I
Like,
don't. I don't know.
So
what that
basically,
is.
Goldilocks planets are closest habitable planets to the Earth that possess, like the exact things we'd need to survive, like an atmosphere with like oxygen, carbon dioxide, whatever in it, water, the right amount of sunlight, and not like death temperatures, like I don't know, -5 billion Kelvin or whatever, and then above that, habitable ways for us to live in.
Mhm.
And basically one of the key things in all these is that they possess like flowing water. And I'm thinking like there's no way aliens aren't real, because if there's at least some form of water and some form of plant life out there, then there's going to be like microbes in the fucking water and shit, and then technically couldn't we already consider that alien life?
Sure.
And then if so, how do we know what has like something could evolve from that or has evolved already, and then we just don't know because they're like light years and light years away. And then even as things like the water under the moon, yeah, we already know of the existence of like these kind of like bacterium that exist under extreme heat temperatures and extreme cold temperatures, extremophiles, I think they're called. And we know that some of the water came from the planet Earth as well, like when the moon was formed. And so there's water, frozen water, trapped under the moon's surface, right? And so I feel like it might be close to infer that like possibly there would be some, frozen bacterium in those ice at least. And so there's probably something along those lines in there for just other planets and other. I think it's just impossible to rule out alien life is like non-existent.
I'd be willing to believe that. Yeah.
At least on like a microbe level.
Yeah. And I guess yeah, and I guess in a sense like yeah, like you could consider that to be aliens. Like that is like kind of that fits because I mean alien, that's just like anything like that's like
Any entity that's foreign to us.
that's
from like
foreign
a
to
different
Earth.
planet.
Yeah. Yeah,
Yeah.
definitely. Yeah. Yeah. No, it's cool to think about. I think it's really interesting. But Michael, do you have like I think we have time for like one more like big story. So Michael, if you wanna end us off here with just some experience you had.
Sure.
Yeah.
This one wasn't like crazy. I was at, oh gosh, I think it was Morrison's Lodge. My mom used to go on these work retreats. They would every summer we'd go for like the weekend or something, and it was a pretty nice lodge somewhere in Oregon. I don't remember where. I was probably like 12, but I remember we would have these it was really fancy. Like we'd have these fancy dinners outside on this deck in the middle of the woods. It was great. And she worked for a law firm, so of course they had the money, and it was bougie. And we were sitting there. Everybody was like enjoying dinner, and I noticed like there was these hills in the distance, and I noticed kind of like what you saw, Antonio, like something really bright, and I'm like, oh, you know what? It was like brighter than all the stars. The stars were just starting to come out, brighter than all the stars. I was like, could be a satellite. I was thinking probably a satellite. And it was sitting like right above this hill. And so I was keeping an eye on it, eating. And I noticed it started to move, like pretty, not like ping pong, but it started to move slowly. And I'm like, okay. I mean, satellites usually move in a linear fashion. They don't adjust their path like vertical and horizontally. And so I was like, okay, that's weird. And so then I keep watching it, and it starts zip zapping like around. And I'm like, hey. Yeah, I'm like, is this a reflection? Like, is there like fork or something? Like, I don't know what it could be reflecting off and what it would, like in the sky. There's nothing like reflect off, but I'm trying anything in my mind to rationalize this. And it's just pinballing around. And then I'm like, all right, I'm gonna get my stepdad, because I know my stepdad. He had some crazy paranormal, like UFO stuff, and so I was like, Pat, what is this? Like, can you tell me what that is? And then of course it was gone when I got to his chair and had him look up.
Right.
it was just so weird. I just was always keeping an eye on it. And then I couldn't believe it when it was just pinball. And I was like, am I seeing this? Like, is this, I was thinking anything and everything to justify it. So weird.
Yeah, no, like, and that's the thing. I mean, like, you know, I'm kind of a skeptic of a lot of things, or at least like a lot of like supernatural things, but aliens are like I was like willing to believe that it was aliens like right away. And maybe that's like you know, like I should like try to consider other possibilities, but at least in that sense, in the thing that I had, like I was like, yeah, no, that's got to be aliens. But yeah, it's not, like, sounds very similar, like in a way. So, and like, yeah, I mean, that's the thing, is it's like you see it and then you try to, like, sometimes you try to show someone else but then it's just gone and you have no proof. Yeah.
Well, and it's like you want to be like, for me, it was like I want to be sure, you know.
Yes,
like, that's why I kept
definitely
an eye on it and didn't say anything at first. It'd be, you know, kind of embarrassing. You'd be like, oh, it's just a satellite. And so I was like, I need, you know, I'm sure it is. And then it just kept doing its little dance, and I'm like, all right, that's weird.
Yeah.
And yeah, wild.
It's
I think
wild stuff.
there's also like the thing. What is it? It's not maybe directly connected to, but there's also Michael Larsen. Do you know the Pentagon black budget or whatever it's called?
Mm-hmm.
So basically, there is rumors. I think Isaiah was telling me this a while ago, but there's like rumors that the Pentagon has tech that's like 100 years advanced within their facilities, and basically when they sink all the money into that black budget, they get some cool alien tech or whatever. I'm just curious to see, like, if I had full autonomy or whatever and be like, I can go Minecraft creative mode into anything or anywhere. I'd like to go see what's in the Pentagon, because I think that's, regarding aliens, that's probably like one of our biggest mysteries for, like, I guess here on Earth. Necessarily.
Yeah, no, like, I would be willing to believe that they have something like that. I mean, like, I don't know, how much do we really know for sure about like what they got there, you know? Like,
I've always believed. I mean, my belief is pretty crazy, but like, I really do believe that our government is either maybe working with them directly or somehow reverse engineering, you know, stuff. Because, like, I mean, you go back to Roswell, and they were on that, you know, whatever it was fell from the sky. They packed it up in the truck, got that straight to a military base, and then said it was a weather balloon. Don't worry about it. And it's just like they wouldn't have any interest in a weather balloon. And the newspaper actually printed flying saucer, you know, crash land. That was the first day, but like stuff like that, you know. And I think Bob Lazar made something on Netflix like about how he, quote unquote, I don't know if I believe Bob, but he said he, quote unquote, worked at Area 51 and they reverse engineered crash landed stuff. And it's like, why would they tell us? Right? Like, why would they tell? There's nobody pointing a gun to him saying you have to tell the public, and if you don't, you're going to die. No.
Yeah.
They're the ones with power, right? Like, they control what is released and what's not.
Exactly. Yeah.
So I've always thought.
I think, going along those lines, I'm kind of curious as to be like, if they're kind of like trickle feeding us this stuff about UFOs, I'm kind of curious to see what comes out next. Like, if I don't necessarily think they have to follow anything up, but I'm curious if they're gonna, like, you know, up the ante in a little while, because I'm just surprised they even like declassified UFO stuff in the beginning. Kind of saying like, we don't know.
Have we had, like, at least in our lifetime, like, have we had like a really big, like, sort of like UFO like hearing or sighting, like, kind of on the same length as like Roswell?
Absolutely. I would say Phoenix Lights, if you haven't researched that. The Phoenix Lights are very interesting. Mayor actually saw it too. And then it was just a moment in Phoenix, Arizona, where like a bunch of like literally like UFOs or like bright lights were just hovering over the city. I say Phoenix Lights, and then there's a couple others. I mean, the Navy just released some videos like a year or two
the Navy
ago.
put shit out too?
Yeah, the Navy released a video of them tracking something that was moving at unbelievable distances and speed, and they were locked on it, trying to figure out what it was. And they just released that, and that kind of hit the public pretty hard. They just said they don't know what it was, you know.
Yeah.
But yeah, those I'd say look into the Phoenix Lights. Those are really interesting.
Yeah, I think the only thing that makes me skeptical of like things that come down to Earth is because, you know, there's like the stereotype, or maybe not even stereotype, it's just kind of true, but like every alien video that comes out, it's always got to be like some dude in the middle of the night
Right.
with like a shaky camera.
Yeah, that's
it's
true.
blurred. They
Yeah.
never show anything except like maybe a man in like a ghillie suit, and so you never really see anything.
Yeah. And then they abduct Michael Larsen.
And then they're canceling his signal right now.
Yeah.
True.
Yeah.
But I
All
think among like alien stuff and so to speak, there's also like we haven't even really begun to understand like the depths of our own planet as well, because
Yeah, that's true. Yeah.
there's so much untapped stuff. We haven't even explored the deepest depths of our ocean. What is it? We've only explored like, what is it? Was it like 8%? I don't know. I could be fudging
It was
that
very
number, but
small. I think you're right. Yeah, something like that.
we're like finding new species in the ocean every day, and it's it's curious because like the deeper we go, the more alien-like the things we
Sure.
find down there are.
Yeah.
Like we were finding like the completely translucent fish that like eat each other or whatever. We're finding like the weird worms that like are on the rocks. You've seen like they've known this for a while, but it's like weird white worms that come out of the ground with like red shells. It looks something straight out of like an alien movie. They have giant squid down there, which is super cool. Always been interested in those, but like we already know the anglerfish is already just like the creepiest like abyssal fish we know of, right? So I feel like there's, before we even like get into alien territory out in space, there's probably more stuff we got to do down there, but like not in the same way that Ocean Gate is doing with that submarine. But
Yeah.
Moment of silence for that.
Yeah.
a moment of silence.
Shit, man.
All right, it's over.
Yeah. All right. Yeah. We're good. Yeah. No, I'm very interested to see like what's in the deepest parts of the ocean. Like that's very interesting to me as well. And I think we will definitely like see developments in that over time. But with that, yeah, I want to do more research on the alien stuff. The Phoenix Lights. That's what you said it was called.
Yeah.
Yeah. I want to look more into that. But I think with that, I think that's where we're going to cap this episode off. Because we have been talking for a bit, but this was great, guys. Like this was really fun. I really appreciate you guys coming on and talking about this stuff. This was definitely like the most like conspiracy like episode we've done.
True.
But yeah, but it's interesting. We gotta do it. You know, or we had to.
For our next episode, we'll bring on a guy on crack that believes in QAnon.
Yeah.
Oh no.
You heard it here first, guys. Oh man, but anyway, yeah. But thank you, Deen, for being here. Thank you, Michael Larsen, for being here.
Thanks for having me, man.
Yeah, we could potentially do another one. You know what I mean? Like do another one in the similar vein. But either way, Michael would love to have you on again for just another episode. So, you know, we'll talk about that in the future, I'm sure.
We gotta do like an alien, you know, storm chasers. We gotta do alien chasers.
Yeah.
The same thing. We see like a UFO in the sky. We're like, follow that ship, and we just drive out there.
Yeah.
At like 1,000,000 miles an hour.
Definitely. Yeah.
UFO said that was good. That was a good stopping point.
Yeah, I think the aliens they've been tapped, or they've been like interfering with Michael's signal this entire time. He does know too much. Yeah, Michael, they're coming for you.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
I'm ready.
Shouldn't
I
have
just
dropped
wanted
that
to
big
show
for a
me.
story.
I've always just wanted, like, with all the stuff I researched, I just they can. I want them to show me everything, and then they can kill me. Like, I'm not gonna tell anybody. Like,
yeah, you just want to know for yourself. No, I respect that. Yeah.
Like, just help me figure out my curiosity. Is it the government? Is it whatever it is? And then show me everything.
And you're like, all right, I can die. I can die now.
Just want to know. I'm too curious.
Man, yeah. All right, well, that's good. With that, we're gonna end this episode off. So yeah, thank you guys for watching, and we'll see you guys in the next episode of Chit Chats. Peace.
See ya.
What?